You know what I love about us INFJs? The ability to hold on something we believe in. We hold on to our morals, we hold on to our integrity, our convictions, and our ideas. We so often hold on to people and believe in them even if they don't believe in themselves. But it's that quality that can be our biggest downfall. Because if we can stay attached to something that is good, we can also stay attached to things that are bringing us down. And it's on us to distinguish what is worth hanging on to and what isn't. So today we're talking about 5 toxic attachments we as INFJs have to break free from, because breaking free of those attachments will actually mean we will be 10 times more successful, 10 times happier, and 10 times more fulfilled. For us, it's so often not only about the steps to take, but also the things to remove from our lives. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to take it a step further, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide today. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. Number 1, attachment to fixing people. I love to help people. You know, that's what I do as my main occupation. So I understand where this wish is coming from. And I understand how important it is for our soul, for us showing up in a meaningful way. But the important point here is to understand that we cannot fix anybody. It's not possible. People fix themselves. And people fix themselves when they're willing and ready to look in the direction that they need to look at. No matter what you do, you cannot help them. I have tried this so many times. I'm 100% convinced of that. You cannot fix people. And so often we have an attachment to fixing people because we feel like if I'm giving up on that person, then I'm giving up on who I truly am. I see somebody suffering. How can I just let them suffer so much when I can give them the solution? But the truth is, you can't give them the solution. You can be their solution, but in a way of, I'm going to be an example of what it means to save oneself. You can offer support, you can offer empathy, you can offer encouragement, tactics, whatever you want. But you cannot do that if a person isn't willing to look your way. And you trying to fix them, you trying to show them their way, if they don't want to do it themselves, it's just going to pull you down and it's going to make them resent you. You're pouring an energy into somebody who's using you for a crutch, and so you don't have any energy left and they're not getting better either. If it worked, it would be a different story. At least you could say it was worth it, but it doesn't. People may feel better in that moment, but the second you stop giving them your energy, they fall apart. And we don't want that. We want people to get better. So it's on you to say, I'm going to set my boundaries. I'm going to show up in a way that is a representation of what it means to take care of oneself and create the life I always wanted. And you'll see how people who are going to respect that, who feel this is encouraging, will come closer to you. And people who cannot look at that because it reminds them of what they're not doing in their life will just move out of your way. Number 2, attachment to unrealistic ideals. I am the queen of this. I have done this so often. I love this part. I have such unrealistic visions and ideas of how connections should be, how well people, should help each other, understand each other, that there's so much you could really experience in your everyday life. And I hold this now as like this pure thing within me that's an ideal. That's what it is. It's an ideal. It's not real life. That does not mean that it can't turn into that or close to that, but understand that just because something feels so true within you, that something feels so real, it does not mean that this is what's going on in real life. We are idealists by definition. And so we imagine an ideal, and this should be our North Star. This should be an inspiration not only for us, but for the people that are coming into contact with us. But don't feel like if you're not stepping into that vision, if you don't have that kind of relationship, if you don't have that kind of impact, if you don't have that kind of prosperity, you're doing something wrong. You're not. Our vision and our ideals is one of the purest things that we carry within ourselves. And I will never, ever let go of them. But know that they're ideals. They're this purest form of what could be. and it's an inspiration. It's something we can work towards, but it's not something that has to happen right now exactly that way, or it was all for nothing. And if we hold on to it in a way of it is this way or no other way, we're not even going to take the first step, because it seems like whatever I do, it will not be that ideal. So this is an attachment we definitely need to break. It's an ideal to remember, but it's not something that has to be set in stone in a way of it has to be this way or no way. Number 3, attachment to being understood by everyone. We know we're not going to be understood by everyone, but so often it feels like it's our task to make other people understand us. If they don't, then it's on us. We are the reason why they're not understanding us. We're not explaining ourselves well enough. We're not trying hard enough. It just doesn't work this way. People see the world differently. People experience things differently. And on top of that, a lot of people don't want to understand you because they're not able to, because it will make them feel bad, because they might feel bad about themselves. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. People will either come your way and try to understand you, and even then, they probably won't be able to completely, or there's nothing you can do. You can explain yourself, you can make it easy, not going to work. You have to know that the way you see the world is completely unique to you. Other INFJs might understand you to a certain extent, but even they are different than you. Every single one of us has a unique experience of life because of the things that we've gone through, the pain that we have transformed, and all of that makes us us. But it's not necessary for other people to understand us. And as long as you feel like if I'm not being understood, something is missing, I promise you, you're not going to get out of this place of feeling sorry for yourself. I know a lot of people don't understand me, but I have an outlet to express myself, and that is what we need. Being able to really say what we mean, showing up the way we want, and not always altering ourselves in a way that is acceptable, but saying in a lot of ways the world has to adapt to the way I am, because I have my birthright of showing up the way I am. Number 4, attachment to toxic relationships. As INFJs, we have a lot of empathy for other people, but we also feel like we're rather logical. We're going to understand if a relationship is not healthy for us. But the truth is, we are feelers. It is incredibly difficult for us to be in connection with another person and still being able to logically detach ourselves, to say this is not healthy for me, because we absorb so much. We really intertwine with so many personalities when they're around us. We see things from their perspective. We feel for them. We might have understanding for them when they, again, didn't treat us right. So the point here is to understand we're human. We cannot stay cold all the time when we're in connection with other people. We need to set really strong boundaries. We need to remove ourselves. We need to stop contacting people. We need to stop checking in on people who we know are not healthy for us. Because the moment you open yourself up to a relationship, you're going to be affected by it. You're going to feel that connection, and you're going to, again, have understanding for the other person when you shouldn't have. Because no matter what they're experiencing, if the way this relationship makes you feel is not healthy for you, if this relationship is taking you off your path, it's time to detach. And number 5, attachment to perfectionism. As INFJs, we are not perfectionists in the typical way of, oh, this has to be perfect, as in there are no errors here, or, it has to be worked out and really, really precise when it comes to, physical results. Our perfectionism comes from our ideals. It comes from our vision. It comes from saying, this is how I need to show up in order to be acceptable, lovable, appreciated. This is how I need to create. This is how I need to help in order for me worth it. But it doesn't work this way. We're human. We're not some ideal. We are the ones who have to be willing to be imperfect. We're not always going to be the perfect friend. We're not always going to act altruistically. We're going to be angry from time to time. We're going to act in a selfish way here and there. It's okay. It's important to accept those parts within us, because if we only allow ourselves to show up as perfect as we possibly can, we're going to be one-dimensional. We're not going to allow ourselves to experience life fully. We're going to feel numb. We're going to feel like something is missing, and we're going to stay stuck in a place that doesn't make us happy. You are human like everybody else. You have so much understanding for others' shortcoming. Please have understanding for yours as well. And when you focus on progress that is imperfect, when you know that every single step you're going to take is going to be a failure at first, it's going to fall short to however you wanted it to be, and you focus on the fact that you take those steps imperfectly instead of creating perfect results, you're going to get closer and closer to the version of yourself you always wanted to be. Remember, if you want some more detailed steps in making that happen for yourself, then get the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to use the system of the formula, but go deeper and get real insights into starting that process today, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then check out the video you see in the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.